Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch, and welcome today to the review of another Spec monster, another dollar dazzler, another one of these watches that gives you a seemingly impossible spec list for not a lot of money. Today it's by Boderry. I think I last looked at a Boderry in October last year, their Voyager field watch. What a deal that one was, coming in at under $100. Still available today, by the way. Now though, it's the turn of the Sea Turtle Diver. It's a little more expensive, but it still has an awesome set of specs, including an original design, a Seiko automatic movement, sapphire crystal, ceramic bezel insert, titanium case, a super comfy strap, and heaps of lume. Now the price on these, if you use the discount code in the description of the video, the price on these is 125 US dollars. I still find it a little bit mind-blowing that you can get so much watch for not a lot of cash if you buy direct from the brand. Now, you saw the pop-up. This video is sponsored by Boderry. I will therefore, of course, leave a link in the description of the video to their website along with that code. Now, I love a bargain. I know you love a bargain. Let's flip the camera and get into it. Alright, well, I have told you the specs, I have told you the price. Let's have a quick look at the watch and call it a day, shall we? Packaging is actually quite reasonable considering $125 asking price. 2-year warranty as well, quite a generous warranty according to the terms and conditions on their website. Black cardboard outer box and a nice little travel pouchy. Thank you very much, Boderry, for supplying us with one of these. That's not too bad at all. And inside is the watch. Now, they don't offer this one on a bracelet. They do offer it in a couple of different colours. They sent me the blue one. They also offer it in a bronze. So, a couple of exotic materials, either titanium or bronze. Is anybody still buying bronze watches these days? Leave me a comment. I used to get offered heaps of bronze watches back in like 2018, 2019. Nobody is offering me bronze watches in 2024. Titanium though, that's still pretty hot. And it definitely has that signature titanium dull grey sheen to it. The case back, and the bezel and the crown there as well. I'm not sure that the buckle and tang's made of titanium. I think that looks like and feels like stainless steel, but no matter, the case is most definitely titanium. I don't think there's any scratch proof coating on there. You wouldn't necessarily expect that for just over 100, but yeah, it's a decent looking watch. Kind of reminds me of the Rolex Submariner Silhouette, similar set of dimensions overall as well. So 40.5 mil in diameter, but only 11.75 mil thick. Now that is really good considering the movement in this one. Just under 48 mil lug to lug, again very Rolex alike, 20 mil between the lugs. Now as supplied on this fluoro rubber strap, it weighs in at 82 grams. That, my friends, is why you buy a titanium watch, because it weighs 30% roughly less than the stainless steel equivalent. Glass is flat sapphire crystal, anti-reflective, yeah, not so much. Screw down crown, only 100 meters of water resistance, more on that a little bit later on. And the movement in the back is a Seiko NH35. Now, like I said, NH35 not known as a particularly slim movement, so 11.7 mil thick is really pretty good. Now you cannot see the movement, but you can see this rather attractive kind of 3D mix finish caseback featuring a turtle on the sea. Get it? Yeah, alright. Now, the caseback is screwed down, but it doesn't have a traditional closure mechanism. You're probably best using one of those big, cheap inflatable balls if you want to take the case back off this. Certainly that's what I would be doing if I did want to get the case back off this one. So the Seiko movement, 24 jewel, hacking and hand winding auto, roughly 40-hour power reserve, and a pretty loose set of tolerances. However, I put this on the time grapher and got a very pleasant surprise. People give these Seiko movements a hard time. They refer to them as trash movements and junk. I just don't know why. I think they are miraculous that Seiko can produce something this good, this economically. This one running pretty much bang on, very healthy straight out of the box. There's no guarantee that yours will run like that. As I said, minus 30 to plus 40 seconds per day. They're giving themselves a big window from the factory, but occasionally you get a gem like this one. Case finish is super simple. You don't get a lot of fancy brushing and polishing on titanium. It's not really necessary. It is nicely done though. It's nice and smooth. It's not that kind of rough, raw style. Pretty sharp transition between the two surfaces there. Very Rolex Submariner, as I said, this case. Nice big crown, 6.6 mil crown with the Boderry logo there and guarded just like on a Submariner. Now one thing I notice here, that is a thin ceramic bezel insert. So 40.5 mil case, Thin insert means quite a lot of dial. What have they done with all that dial real estate? I'll pop the macro lens on in just a second. The strap though is what they call fluoro rubber. It's FKM rubber. Again, there's a kind of pattern on here replicating the pattern on the dial. Plenty of holes, quick release adjustment at both ends, double retainers, one fixed, one mobile, and very nice hardware, even if it isn't necessarily titanium hardware. Well, the silhouette may be reminiscent of the Rolex Submariner, but I've never seen a Rolex Submariner with repeating hexagonal honeycomb pattern all over the dial. Yeah, a little bit different here. Some angles it's pretty intense, to be honest. Look at that, the way it catches the light. Other angles it kind of disappears, so very much light dependent. Whether it's too intense for you is up to you. Now, all of those hexagons have got a little trick up their sleeve, though. I will show you that in just a second. So it is a rather similar Rolex index layout, triangle at 12, batons at 6 and 9, truncated baton to make way for the date frame at 3, and applied circular indices everywhere else, printed minute track around the outer edge with prominent 5-minute markers. The handset, though, is a little bit Omega, isn't it? Bevel down the middle, high polish, kind of broad arrow, tapering, sharp minute hand, and with a lollipop second hand. Little tip of red there, picking out the sea turtle branding, automatic 100 meters, and the Boderry double branding with the name and the logo that they featured on the crown, printed beneath that triangle. Yeah, a lot going on here. Like I said, a fairly thin bezel, a lot of real estate on the dial. Well, they haven't underutilized it, have they? That's for sure. On wrist, proportions are good. Case is very slim with no protruding case back. It's made of titanium and the strap is really very comfortable indeed. Yeah, a pleasure to wear this one. It would be a really easy watch just to stick on and forget you were wearing it at all because it is so light and so comfortable. You'd forget it until you needed it, and then you'd work out that the hands weren't all that legible because they're relatively small and the silver does rather disappear against this blue dial, and there are points where they're overtaken, the handset is overtaken by the intensity of all of those hexagons. So yeah, not the most legible watch that I've looked at recently. But I did say all those hexagons had a trick up their sleeve. This is what it looks like after dark. Very, very interesting. I was not expecting that the first time that I switched off the light and looked down at the sea turtle. Obviously, dual coloured lume here, C3 for the hexagons, BGW9 for the hands, for the indices, and for the numerals on that rather slim ceramic bezel insert. Now, when I turn the speed up, unfortunately, the honeycomb disappears within a couple of minutes. When we get to the end of the 20-minute test, the hands are still hanging on in there, as are the markers on the ceramic bezel insert, but the indices not so much. It's okay. Lume is often the weak link, the Achilles heel of a cheap dive watch. This one's no different, but it's better than most, to be honest. Moans and niggles, well, I have talked about legibility. Sometimes the legibility's good. Other times the legibility just isn't good. These hands rather disappear. The dial is intense, again, from some angles, more so than from others. So yeah, a lot going on your wrist. You're going to have to be okay with that. Bezel action, haven't done that yet because it's traditional titanium bezel action. Let's put it that way. It's a bit light on, and there is a little bit of backplay just as it locks. Yeah, very light, not particularly convincing or sturdy. But if you are okay with the rather intense dial patterning and you're looking for a lightweight knockabout diver or daily, you should definitely have a look at one of these. There aren't too many titanium dive watches around for anything close to this price. It's a shame they don't offer it in a bracelet. That would really have sealed the deal with this one, albeit it would probably have pushed the price up closer to $200 rather than, as it stands, closer to $100. But it's another cracking value offering from Boderry, and I'm looking forward to seeing their future output. So there you have it. Apart from the design being pretty intense in places, there is far more here to like than to dislike, especially for not a lot more than $100. If you're a fan of the brand, why not check out the 2 other Boderrys that I have reviewed, either here or here. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of this one. I'll see you again in the next one.